மோர்ல போட்டுமா
பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ்ல இருக்கு டீச்சர். பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ்ல போங்க. பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ்ல போயிட்டு இங்க வந்து கொடுத்து ரீநேம் பண்ணுங்க. இங்க அண்டர்ன் போட்டு போடுங்க.
இப்ப மேரி போகுது கரெக்டா?
ஓகே டீச்சர்.
தெரியலையேம்மா.
போன்ல
யாருக்காவது போன் போட. Ma'am, how they are joining, ma'am? Those who are doing the preparation work.
She is opening her mouth and telling.
Oh, namaste, sir.
Namaste.
The team is getting together. By 3 o'clock, we can start the sharp.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Are you there? I'm online. Just connect because I've shared.
Make a separate. So I hope we can start, sir. Now the time is exactly 3. So,
Yeah,
sir.
everybody there?
Yeah, all are here, sir.
Okay. Can you just kindly introduce me to all of them?
Sir?
Can you just introduce them to me?
Yeah, sure. Actually, sir, I am Captain Pillai, the principal of the school at here in Dalmiapuram.
Okay.
There are the next one is Miss Veena Soni, who is the academic head of our school, and
Okay.
we have 5 in charges down here. One is Mrs. Sauhambigai, Mrs. Parivadini, Mrs. Revati, then another one also Mrs. Revati, and then Mrs. Elavarasi. All of 5 are in charges for the different sections. And then I have another around 27 teachers who will be or who are the backbone of our DVM Dalmiapuram, sir.
Wow, great.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Sahab, good afternoon.
Namaste, sir.
And all the team, you have a very solid team with you. So I must congratulate all of you. And it's a pleasure to be with you all today.
Thank you, sir.
Good
I also
afternoon,
must
sir.
thank.
I got connected. Sorry for the interruption. I got connected, sir, now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I shared the controls with you, Meenakshi.
Yes, sir. I will take it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Are we ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Captain, sir, only 15 teachers have joined, sir. Let others also join, sir. Everyone. Can we wait for
Namaste, sir.
another? Thomas, sir, can we wait for another 1 minute? Everyone can join.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, we are in the school, so in one system, 2 or 3 teachers are connected, ma'am.
All teachers are connected, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, just to one. Yeah, ma'am.
Excluding
Okay,
one
thank you.
teacher, Mrs. Elavarasi, because she's having a COE training. Excluding her, all
Okay.
others have joined in, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Captain, sir. Thank you, Parivardhini, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thomas, sir,
thank
we
you,
can start, sir. Thank you so much.
Are we ready now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank CEO ma'am, Madam Rosetta Williams, for having given us this opportunity to deliberate on national education policy. Hello.
Yes, sir.
What's happened to this?
Thomas, sir, can you just reshare your screen, please?
Is it okay, Meenakshi?
Sir, screen not yet shared.
Check before we start, please.
Yes, sir. It is not shared, sir. Please, you have to share it again.
You send me the link, I'll share. Actually, this national education policy was approved by the Union of Ministers on 31st July this year itself. How did it come about? A brief prelude. How did it come about? Well, you see, the first educational policy we had way back in 1968, Kothari Commission. Then we had the second educational policy in 1986, where the ICDS was introduced. After 34 years, now the present government feels that there is a need for a transformational, reformatory education policy. It is high time now that the education policy should be reformed. And so this national education policy came into being with a formation of a committee of 7 members, 2017. They did a lot of study into this, a lot of research. Educators pan-India were invited to send their suggestions. We received 1,24,000 suggestions pan-India. All those suggestions were looked into. There were a lot of debates, a lot of webinars, a lot of discussion which took place. And finally, the national education policy, the rough draft was made and was presented to Dr. K. Rangarajan in 2019. Then it was presented, after it was approved by Dr. Rangarajan, it was presented to the Education Minister, that is Dr. Javadekar. Presented on the table, the Union of Ministers went through the entire policy, approved of the policy, and was sanctioned on 31st July 2019. Today it has come to us for implementation, for discussion and implementation. Now, this education policy, after much moderation and deliberation, it was decided that the main points, the main focus would be on a change in structure of education, a change in curriculum of education. The school building, the school infrastructure would remain the same. For the first time in this education policy, we addressed early education, that is, the pre-education. Earlier, it was not in the policy. So, we had Anganwadis, we had Balvatikas, English medium schools, we had pre-primary schools, LKG, UKG. Now, it has all been included and focused upon in the new education policy. And a national commission is going to set up so that they can monitor the standard, which is going to be an equal benchmark for the pre-primary. Now, taken into consideration that training had to be given even to teachers, because many teachers of the Anganwadi and Balvatika were not adequately trained. So, training will be given through the NCERT, who is forming a curriculum, a framework. Those teachers of the Anganwadi who are 10+2 will get a 6-month certificate training. Those who are not up to 10+2 will get a 1-year diploma training program. Besides, now the curriculum which will be implemented for the Anganwadis and for the preschools will be universal. So the focus is on universalization. The focus again is on improving the foundation, the structural foundation of education of a child. At present, we do not have that. But in the national education policy, which we expect to be implemented from 2021, we expect that curriculum to be coming to us. The structure earlier that we were following was 3 years pre-primary education, followed by standard 1 to 10, that is 10 plus 2. The first initial 10 years, the students used to study the subject in phases. When the student used to come to 11th standard, used to specify his subject, his stream, as we say, commerce, science, or humanity, and then he used to appear for the board examination 12th. Now, this has been restructured as 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So now the stages of learning are well defined, simplified, and with a futuristic global standard, so that our education policy now will be able to meet the global standards. The general focus of the NEP, or as we can say, the outcome of the NEP will be to make education available for all. A brief study was done. It was seen that over 2 crore of children are not in the educational stream. So the government is now focusing that through this NEP, we could bring back those 2 crore children into the education stream and make education compulsory, mandatory for all. By 2030, it is expected that 100% GER will be achieved. Besides this, there are many path-breaking reforms in the new educational policy. The end result would be in a confident student, apt to adapt and perform on a global platform. So what these structural changes are, let us see further. The first structural stage is that the learning period is now divided into 4 stages. The foundation stage, the preparatory stage, the middle school stage, and the high school stage. What is the foundation stage? The foundation stage in the initial 5 years of a student's life, that is from pre-primary up to standard 2, the initial 5 years of a student's life, the main focus here will be on learning through the mother tongue or in the regional language or in the language of that particular area. This will be from the age of 3 to 8. Now, this has been inculcated into the NEP 2020 for the first time. Earlier, the education, according to the Constitution of India 21A section, it was from 6 to 14 years. But now, according to the new NEP, it is from 3 to 18 years. So, 3 to 8 years, the foundation stage, mother tongue, the medium of instruction. The next is the preparatory stage. This is also for a period of 3 years, from standard 3 to 5, age group 8 to 11. This is called the preparatory stage because here the basic foundation of literacy, the basic foundation of numeracy will be taught to the children. Again, the medium here will be in the mother tongue. Education according to NEP now up to standard 5 will be flexible, playway method will be used. Children will enjoy learning And not only that, even now the children there will be less dropouts, as we expect that all children should be coming to school. Besides this, as the study was done later in the NEP, it was found that the middle school stage is the most important stage. That is standard 6, 7, and 8. Most important stage in the life of a student. This is when a student scientifically has been proved that their mind is extremely flexible, curious, active, open to learning, adaptable. This is the age group of 11 to 14 years. Here the students will be introduced to all subjects. The basic concepts of all subjects will be introduced to the student here. Also, like in South Korea, Japan, China, it has been decided that we will introduce students to coding, computer coding, in standard 6. Therefore, they will learn to develop software and its application. Plus, other than this, internship will be introduced. Internship or practical experience, practical wisdom, which was not there earlier, and which Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru always focused upon and always suggested that we should have practical wisdom. It should be a part of the school curriculum. So now internship has been introduced. Again, this internship is as per the already been introduced to students of UK and USA. According to this, vocational education, students will be skilled by the time they pass out from the 12th in one particular vocation. So they can earn and learn. That is the basic criteria, earn and learn, skilled in one particular vocation. This vocational education can be opted for by the students or the parents during the holiday period. The main program of the vocation will be computer coding, mechanical learning, artificial intelligence, organic living, holistic health, welfare. So this is what has been proposed at present for the vocational education program. Besides this, sign language will also be introduced and made standardized. This will be a part of the inclusion program, so that when the gifted children of the special needs or the gifted children from BPL families, when they are introduced into the mainstream, when they are welcomed into the mainstream, children with dyslexia, children who have disabilities, 21 disabilities. So sign language will be helpful for the children to communicate among themselves. The next is the high school stage, final stage of schooling, also divided into two phases. This is also a very important stage as it helps the student in his future life. This comprises of standard 9, 10, 11, and 12. Earlier, like I told you, the student only used to choose a subject specialized in standard 11 and write the board exam in standard 12. But now, from standard 9 onwards, like in the UP government, we see from standard 9 onwards, the child can choose his stream. So, as we see now, according to NEP, it is written that a child can choose any subject. There will be no barriers, no rigid demarcation of science stream, commerce stream, or medical stream, engineering stream, no rigid barriers. The child can opt for any subject. All subjects will be given equal weightage and they will all be considered equal level. A multidisciplinary system is introduced, as I told you, no stream system. Moreover, according to NEP, the weightage of the board exam also will be reduced. Now, the board will conduct examination twice a year. The board will now conduct modular examination or semester examination and annual examination. Okay? So they will be conducted twice a year. A flexible examination system. The student can opt to write any two examinations in a year. They will be assessed as the best of any. And they will be issued now a new report card, which will be termed as a 3-degree report card. This report card will not only mention qualitative and quantitative assessments, that is academic, vocational, curricular, co-curricular, non-academic subjects, but something amazing in this report card. The student will be assessing themselves, self-assessment. The student will have his friend or his peer assessment, as well as the student will also have assessment by the teacher. All these assessments will be in that report card in separate columns. Moreover, the report card will also mention one life skill which a student is supposed to imbibe in that particular year. This life skill will be after a discussion with the teacher and the parents in the PTM, so that the ultimate objective is when the student receives his final report card after 12 years, after his 12th, he will have a complete record before him of all the life skills which he has imbibed, the vocational skill which he has undertaken, the academics which he has done. So his entire record will be mentioned in this 3-degree report card. So this is the reform in the examination system. Reforms in higher education. These are 10 major points, like there were 10 major points in the school education out of the entire NEP. These 10 major points are, first, the higher education system now will have a multiple entry and multiple exit. Why multiple exit and multiple entry? Earlier, a student used to appear only for one course, BSc or BA, Humanities. And for 3 years, they had to study that one course till they passed out. After 3 years, they would get the degree as a graduate. But that is no longer now. Now a student can go for graduation, study for 1 year, can take an exit, can switch a school or college or a course, okay? And then again, he can come back to the earlier course which he was doing. So this is a facility in order to avoid dropouts, and a student can complete his education. Many times what happens, the dropouts happen because of some family problem, because of some financial crunch, because of some job problem. So the NEP now has addressed that problems and will ensure that a student can get higher education. The main aim for higher education is that 50% students by 2030 should be pursuing higher education. At present, only 23% of students are pursuing higher education. Graduation will be of 4 years. Post-graduation will be of 2 years. Both in graduation and post-graduation, the final year will be research-based. So to encourage creative thinking, to encourage more interaction, research-based will now be the focus, the forefront. To get into a graduation course, to get admission into a college or a university, now a common admission entrance exam will be conducted by the National Testing Agency. Of course, this is mandatory. The NTA will propose the common entrance examination, and it is up to the university and the college to adopt to this. But at the same time, every university and college can also conduct their own entrance examination. Further, according to the NEP, the next 15 years, that means by 2035, the colleges which are affiliated to the universities will now become autonomous, multidisciplinary, like Sri Ram College of Commerce will have other subjects also which students can pursue. Multidisciplinary, autonomous, no longer affiliated to any one particular university, but will have their own standards and own benchmarks. So this is proposed for the next 15 years. This is with regards to the exit and entrance from a graduation course. If a student completes the first year course and exit, a course certificate will be awarded to that student. If the student exits after 2 years course completion, he'll get a diploma certificate. On an exit after 3 years, he'll be awarded a bachelor degree certificate. And if he completes the full course, that is a 4 years, with research, he will be awarded a bachelor's degree along with a research certificate. So now, bachelor's degree will be a 4-year course. One thing which is more beneficial for students is that after +2, students can now opt also for teaching for a B.Ed course. 4 years integrated B.Ed course will also be now available. There will be academic bank of credit and credit transfers in higher education. This credit transfers will be given to the student. The credit bank will be made 1 credit for 1 hour of lecture attended or 2 hours of research or field work. Why this credit bank? Like in America, the students have their credit banks. So what happens is they don't have to carry their certificates and mark sheets along with them wherever they go. They have just only a credit bank. And they can change the course, they can change the college, they can change the university. Once he has achieved the credit score of that graduation, he can go for post-graduation, depending on the credit score. Once he has completed 1 year of course in BA, he will be awarded a credit score. What is the normal credit scores in America? It is 120 to 124 credit per year to a student in graduation. 80 credit per year for post-graduation. MPhil is no longer there, it has been scratched out. So straight away after graduation, you can go for PhD. PhD will also be research-based. So this is the importance of the academic bank of credit. Teachers recruitment. Lot of emphasis is coming for teachers recruitment. Because you see, over 2 crore of students who are no longer in education will be brought back into the stream of education. Right of education for all. So obviously, when these 2 crore students come back, we are going to require more education institutions. We're going to require more teachers who are trained, who are apt for implementation of the NEP. So the main focus will be on teacher recruitment, outstanding teachers, outstanding in urban and rural institutes. Part-time teachers will now not be appointed, which are called para teachers. So they will not be appointed. Substandard teachers education institutions will be closed down. You must be already knowing about it. There are many Me Too teachers educational institutions, which is just operating in one room or maybe part-time in some school after school time, where students don't even attend but have enrolled for teachers education. So all such substandard teachers educational institutions will be identified and will be closed down. Teachers with excellent academic track record who have a technical knowledge, tech savvy we call them, competent in their subject, competent in teaching, pedagogy, obviously they will be doing very well from 2023. Now the question arises, what about the present day teachers? What are they going to do? What is their future? Well, the government has considered that also, and according to the NEP, it is written that the present day teachers will have to upgrade themselves in technological skills and also in pedagogy, because now teaching is going to change, the method of teaching is going to change drastically. So by 2023, the teachers will have to upgrade themselves so that they can even assess for assessment. Like I told you, a new report card will be coming in. The teachers will have to assess the students as per the new parameters, which will be shared with them. So the present day teacher, what I should say, in-house teachers have a chance to upgrade themselves. A national professional standard for teachers will be established by 2023. The focus is on quality teachers. So now every house teacher will have to pursue a PDC, professional development course. Not only teachers, but even principals will have to do a 50-hour continuous professional development course. This is just to upgrade themselves and to strengthen the systems, to improve upon their skills. From 2030 onwards, the Directorate of Education will then conduct a performance revision. Director of Education, District Education. They will conduct a performance revision, school-wise, teacher-wise, to check the skills of the teacher. And what are those skills? Those skills are foundation skills, literacy skills, numeracy skills, competency in basic teaching skills as per the basic teaching method, interactive classroom, how a teacher is able to incorporate technology in the teaching methods. So there will be a continuous evaluation of those teacher skills. Those teachers who are substandard and whose performance will not match the benchmark standard, the performance equation, they will be slowly disqualified. But this will happen only in 2030, not today, after 10 years. Okay. and teachers have time till 2023 to upgrade themselves. So please start focusing on upgradation of your skills. Not only teachers and principals, but the government is also focusing, as per the NEP, into commercialization of education to curb commercialization of education. How they are going to do this? A very simple method. All government schools and private schools will now do a public disclosure. They will have a public website, public portal. And as per this public portal, they will have to put up the teachers list. What are the teaching subjects given to those teachers? What are the qualifications? What is the experience of the teacher? Which classes have they been given to teach? What are the number of classrooms? What are the sizes of the classrooms? Does it conform to the sizes as given by the Directorate of Education in the NOC or by the board? The labs, how many labs do they have? What is the playgrounds they have? Many schools do not have playgrounds but are still functional. So now playgrounds have become essential. What is the infrastructure layout? Where are the senior students placed? What are the other facilities offered besides education to a student? What are the vocational courses? And all this information about the school will be on their website. This is become mandatory under Section 8 of Company Disclosure Act. Moreover, as per the NEP, now the school premises will be used also for adult education or as a center for teaching the disabled children, the gifted children, or the special needs children. Because we have to take out those children who are exceptionally bright, brilliant, and we got to include them in the inclusion policy. So regular school health checkups will be done. Schools not conforming will be disqualified and shut down. So this is done basically to curb commercialization of education. Briefly, the main goal of NEP is to make India regain as a world superpower in education, like it was earlier during Nalanda. India was a world power. So this is the main aim, to regain India as a world superpower in education. Plus 2 examination also has got certain reform. The board examination also now has been issued certain reforms in the NEP. The first reform, which I have already shared with you, that board will conduct examination either semester system or modular system. The second reform will be that the question paper in the board examination will be objective and subjective. Subjective will not be a rote learning method, but the practical application of knowledge will be questioned, will be tested. This is the reforms on the board examination. Every subject which will be offered by the board will be at 2 levels, advanced level and medium level. So the student can opt for any one particular level. Suppose a student is not very good with advanced maths, he can opt for a medium level. So the levels of subjects also has been mentioned in the NEP. Besides all this, there are 7 major points major reforms which is common to higher education and to school education. What are those major reforms? We will come to later. But what we have now before us is the school reforms. So we see now further to address the question of dropouts, to improve upon the ratio of students. NIOS, that is open schools, will now extend to standard 3, standard 5, standard 8, standard 10, and standard 12. Earlier, open school offered examination only in 10th and 12th. But now it will be extended from standard 3, standard 5, standard 8, standard 10, and standard 12. Mother tongue learning will be there, as I told you earlier, in ECCE. While we address ECCE, mother tongue will be there. But this mother tongue medium will be up to 5th standard, not mandated to stop at 5th standard. It can continue up to 8th standard or even beyond wherever possible. Global colleges and universities, over 100 global colleges and universities have now been invited to come to India and set up their classrooms in India. So there is now no burden for our students to go abroad and incur huge expenses, because they can get global education in India itself at their doorstep. There will be quality control set up at all levels. Like I told you, the national mission is going to be there, which is going to ensure the pre-primary objective of achieving foundational numeracy and literacy. National mission going to be there. We're going to have a National Educational Technology Council or forum, which is going to help us to incorporate technology into education. Because briefly you see, all of us, many of us are using technology in administration, in management of school. Also, technology will help us in setting up virtual labs. Technology will also help us in setting up digital libraries. Technology will help us in teachers training, students counseling, career counseling. So, technology role is very vast. So, to address that, a National Educational Technology Forum is going to be set up, which is going to make sure that all education institutes meet the benchmark, standard benchmark. Besides this, a national NTA, like National Teaching Agency, is going to be there, association going to be there, which will be termed as PARAK. PARAK, Performance, Assessment, Review, Analysis of Education, Knowledge, and Holistic Education. PARAK. PARAK is going to set the standard, the benchmark to be achieved by all the 7 boards which are at present recognized in India. 7 boards: CBSE board, ICSE board, CIE board. There will be a common benchmark, standard of education. So PARAK will be looking into that. Furthermore, instead of the UGC, now we are going to have Higher Council of Education, HCEI, Higher Council of Education of India, which is going to look into the higher education aspects, standards of education, quality of education. So this is with regards to the NEP 2020. Hopefully by 2023, we will have well-versed teachers, prepared teachers. By 2030, in totality, the NEP is expected to be implemented. Like I told you, the language formula, again, will be a 3-language formula, but that is not mandatory now. Like certain states, like Andhra Pradesh, has opted only to adopt English as the language. Tamil Nadu has only adopted a 2-language formula. But according to NEP, it is proposed a 3-language formula in schools, out of which 1 will be a foreign language and 2 will be Indian language. In higher education, languages may be of a translatory type. That means a student can opt in higher education if he wants to pursue a language which will help him as a translator. Okay, so that is about the language education. So as we say that these path-breaking reforms have been mentioned in the NEP 2020, and now it is up to the state government in collaboration to adopt the NEP and implement it in totality by 2030. So thank you everybody. Any questions, anyone? Any questions, anybody? Hello?
So first of all, I would like to thank you for giving a wonderful insight about this NEP 2020.
Thank you, sir.
See, basically, even if you take me, I may not have known all these details unless you have explained it just like how you are doing it for a child. Wonderfully done, sir. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So there is 1 or 2 questions which I would like to ask. One is related to the CTET exam. Will that be taken into consideration?
Yeah. Sorry, I just slipped mine. TET examinations will be conducted, sir. But now the TET examination, what I should say is according to the different stages. Means a teacher of a preparatory stage will have to appear for a TET examination of a preparatory stage.
Right, sir.
A teacher appearing for TET examination for high school stage will have to appear for that particular examination.
Right.
Means the TET examination now will not be wholesome, but will be conducted stage-wise for that particular teacher.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Welcome. Anything else? Anybody?
Teachers having any questions, either they can unmute themselves and they can ask the questions, or they can write in the chat box. Any query related to NEP 2020?
Sir, is it possible that the PPT presentation which you have prepared can be shared to us also, sir?
Definitely. I've already shared it with Meenakshi. Ma'am
Okay.
will give it to you.
Okay, sir.
I can share it with you, and you can conduct further, because this is a mission for us, you see.
Sir,
For us, education, this is a mission.
sir,
The
sir.
more we share it, the better for us.
Sure.
Otherwise, there will be a confusion all over the place, and
Sure.
somebody will be speaking something, somebody is speaking something. There will be no uniformity.
Sir. No, this basically gives the skeletal structure of the NEP, sir. Totally it has covered everything.
Yeah, definitely. Meenakshi ma'am, can you please share with Captain Sir the PPT?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Any queries, sir?
Sir, one more question down here related to the multiple exit and multiple entry, which you talked
Yeah.
about. Yeah, let us suppose a child who is in the college, in the first year, if he exits, he gets a course certificate. Okay. Then let us suppose the child moves to, if he wants, can he move to some other course And whether
Definitely.
that will be again the first year or it will be the second year.
No. She will, suppose a child say is in Tamil Nadu, Chennai.
Sure,
Now her parent has been transferred to Calcutta.
sure,
So she completes her first year, BA, right? She gets her
Right.
credit bank. She gets her certificate. She moves to Calcutta.
sure.
She can rejoin over there in another course or the same course you can pursue further,
Okay,
or she can rejoin another course and any
Right.
other subject she is interested in,
sure.
and then come back to the main course again.
Okay, okay, sir, fine.
Okay, so that credit bank will be there.
Okay, sir, fine. And sir, you were talking about the
Good afternoon,
principals
sir.
going in for around 50. Yeah, ma'am.
Pardon?
Sir, you had been talking
I'm
about
sorry
the
to interrupt, sir. You please carry on, then I will follow.
Yeah, you had been telling that the principals have to go in for some 50 hours of training, teachers a certain number of hours of training. So once again, if you can just highlight that, sir?
Yeah, according to the NAP, it's a professional development course
Sure.
for all those who, just like in the army we have, sir.
Sir.
We have an examination to cross every rank,
Yes, right, sir.
isn't it?
Yeah,
So similarly, here in the NAP now, earlier it was not there. So what the teachers used to become lackadaisy, and they used to become complacent. So just to keep them on their toes and to keep them in touch, in tune with the present scenario of education, because you see now everything is becoming globalized.
sure.
So new knowledge is coming in, global knowledge is coming in. Students are able to assess those knowledge. A teacher has to stay updated, has to update, whether in teaching method or in subject knowledge. Similarly, the principal has to update what are the latest administrative skills, what are the latest academic changes,
Sure.
what are the latest changes in the board examination,
Sure.
how it is going to be conducted. See, so this is a kind of a professional development course which the government has thought about, that we should have it for those so that they can upgrade their skills. At present, what happens, the board, CBSE board says, we are conducting a training or a seminar or a workshop for maths teachers. Please send maths teachers. How many teachers go? How many principals and how many schools pay importance to this? Nobody.
Right, sir.
Nobody. So, just to make it important.
Yeah. Good
and-
afternoon, sir. I have a question, please.
Yeah, sure. Just a minute. So, they have now put PDC as part of service rules. 50 hours continuous PDC for teachers as well as for principals.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Veena, ma'am,
Sir,
you
I have
can.
a question. When we have seen so many changes coming up,
Yeah.
I'm just eager to know whether the assessment pattern also is going to drastically change, or it will be student centric. So assessment pattern also, can we expect many changes in the assessment pattern also?
Definitely. There is going to be drastic change, big change. You see, earlier, if we go to our Gurukul system, okay, so what was Gurukul system? Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, yes, sir. We can hear
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If we go to our Gurukul system of learning, in ancient India, it was teacher centric. Okay. The teacher used to teach, the guru used to teach, and the student had to learn and they had to move forward. Right? The Diksha method,
Yes, sir.
the practical experience, the guru used to do it.
Yes, sir.
Recently, it changed to student centric. Now we had books, we had a curriculum, we had lesson plans. Okay, a teacher had to move according to that.
Yes, sir.
Now what is coming in with the new NEP,
Sir.
again that Gurukul Shiksha is coming in with the new NEP. You see, now a guru, a teacher will be one of the most respected professions in India. They will be given much importance in India.
Sir. Sir.
Okay? Yeah. So what was
Thank you so
seen
much, sir.
is that there was a lot of disrespect to teachers. You must have seen recently. Moreover, certain schools are not paying proper salaries to the teachers, in spite of the government saying 7 pay commission. So, to avoid all that exploitation, to avoid the workload on teachers, now this new NEP has taken, has focused on that. Right? Any other
Yeah.
query, anybody? I hope that satisfied you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Any other query, anybody?
Yeah, sir, this is a question to you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, basically, if you see, we find that teaching English to the children from nursery to grade 5 and their inhibition to take it in and then again to talk with, you can feel that it's going down. The standard is going down, basically, if you see in schools. Why? Because as the mother tongue has come in, the teacher try to talk in or teach in mother tongue. So now, when government has come out with the system of putting this, that the mother tongue can be used from grade 1 to grade 5, or how will it help us out, sir? Or will it have a repercussion?
Well, you see, this was also much debated by all the educators pan-India. Now, what is going to happen? This is where technology comes in, sir. You see, what has been concluded is that the child learns faster in the mother tongue.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay. So, the government says that in early childhood education and care, mother tongue will be there. The child's foundation in the language will be strong, and the child will be able to get a proper concept of subjects in the mother tongue.
Okay.
Moreover, technology now is going to develop e-contents of subjects in regional languages. Right? So once these subjects are available, these e-contents are available, I don't think there will be much problem. Yes, obviously, English medium students will get an advantage. Those whose mother tongue is English, obviously they will get advantage as compared to others. Like we see in Andhra Pradesh, why they have opted for English as the language, medium of language of instruction. A student of Andhra Pradesh as compared to a student of Tamil Nadu, both those students, who will be better? Who will get the advantage, benefit? The student of Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh, yes, sir.
Because future of computers is in English, science is in English, almost all higher education is in English, medical is in English, engineering is in English. So they will get the advantage. Tamil Nadu may not get that advantage. But yes, if the e-contents come up, which is coming up at a very fast rate, like we tell you, if the e-contents are available and comes up, so then there will be no problem whatsoever. For anybody, there will be no problem. Right? But
Right,
still,
sir.
when that student will go abroad to a foreign country for a job or something, he will have to do a bridge course.
Right, sir.
Only then he will be able to go. Like China, see? Now when Chinese come to India, they have to do a bridge course in Hindi. They have to learn Hindi.
Right, sir.
Otherwise, they're speaking only Mandarin. Okay?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Something like that.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
It was a wonderful session, sir. It has given a lot of insight about what NEP 2020 is about.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you from the bottom of our heart, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Meenakshi ma'am, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Thomas, sir. Thank you, Captain, sir. Thank you, the entire team and educators for attending the session. See you all in the next session with the new concepts, with the new ideas and technologies. Thank you so much. Till that, namaste to all.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Meenakshi.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Thomas, sir.
weekend. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.